Xavi has assumed responsibilities at Barcelona as its new manager, and the former World Cup winner will have a lot of work on his hands as he seeks to restore this once proud institution to its former glory. With the Blaugrana struggling with form, consistency, and off-the-field issues, Xavi knows that things will not be easy, and that he doesn't have the luxury of a honeymoon period. Will the club's legendary midfielder restore some pride at Camp Nou? Newcastle United have finally landed Eddie Howe as the club's new manager, following the sacking of Steve Bruce. The former Bournemouth tactician is one of the most promising managers in England, so the Magpies might survive the drop, right? There's a small war brewing between Argentina and Paris Saint-Germain that needs to be discussed. And then there's this case of Cristiano Ronaldo, who's absolutely shocked to see how far the standards at Manchester United have dropped. Guess it takes being there in person to understand the ground realities. Jose Mourinho made a good start to life as Roma manager, but in recent weeks have highlighted multiple problems that besiege the Giallorossi, and the Portuguese tactician hasn't been quiet about his feelings. Okay, now that you've done a quick sneak peek, let's quickly subscribe, turn on our notifications, and get ready for our daily dose of all things football. Signed by Roma this summer in order to launch a new cycle, Jose Mourinho has done a fairly good job so far. They're 6th in the Serie A with 19 points from 12 games and 2nd in the Europa Conference League group with qualification all but assured. Mourinho's Roma seem to be a different team. However, after a pretty good start to the season that resulted in a lot of enthusiasm, things are slowly fading away. Over the past few weeks, the capital club has put on disappointing performances on a number of occasions. They've lost 4 times and drew 2 games, with the 2-1 win over a struggling Cagliari the only positive. If the defeats against Juventus and Milan were not supposed to be an issue, the 6-1 defeat at the hands of Norwegian side Bodø Glimt and then the 3-2 loss at home highlighted increasingly glaring weaknesses this team has. And following a 3-2 loss to newly promoted Venezia, Mourinho knows that his team has a lot of work to do. Despite creating enough chances, Roma lacked the quality to finish things off. Speaking to the media, Mourinho admitted that while the club has done better than the previous season, they're still not better than last year. When a team is unbalanced, you lose several players to injuries and suspensions. You have to find solutions. We don't have 2 players for each position like the others. The team has limits, and this is not a criticism of the club. We know the work done this summer. It's not the season to think big, but I have to increase the ambition and motivation of the team. The club is likely to bring in a few new faces in the summer, with the likes of Harry Winks, Antonio Rudiger, and Denis Zakaria, just a few of many names linked with the capital club. But then again, Mourinho was given close to €100 million to spend on new recruits, and at the end of the day, the buck stops with him. Returning to earth after having started the season on fire, Jose Mourinho will have to react after the international break, having to stamp his ticket in the Europa Conference League, but also to move back into the Serie A. The Portuguese tactician has his work cut out for him and will have to make the right decisions. For the first time since his return to Italy, the special one is challenged. Recently, Paris Saint-Germain was surprised to find out that the Argentine national team had summoned the injured duo Lionel Messi and Leandro Paredes for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. It was quite a bizarre act, given that both men have not been fully fit for a long time. The Albiceleste coach, Lionel Scaloni, had nothing to do with it, but is hopeful to count upon either of the 2 men for the game against Brazil. The situation has understandably enraged the PSG management, in particular Leonardo, who wants FIFA to intervene. Unfortunately, FIFA hasn't done anything about it yet, and it's easy to see why Leonardo finds this scenario scandalous. We do not agree to see a player being selected when he is not fully fit and is still in the rehabilitation phase. It is not logical, and this type of situation deserves a strong statement from FIFA, says Leonardo. And with PSG set to face Manchester City in the Champions League on November 24th, the club's hierarchy will be eager to see a fully fit Messi take the field. After several weeks of searching, Newcastle have finally found their new manager in Eddie Howe. The former Bournemouth man will have a lot of work to do in order to get the Magpies out of the woods as they struggle with relegation. Since taking over the club for €350 million, the Saudi ownership has started moving things to make Newcastle a big deal in Europe. Amanda Staveley and her team is working on the next transfer window, and after quickly parting ways with Steve Bruce, they started to look for a new manager. Eventually, they decided to go for Eddie Howe, who has been without a club since the end of his adventure at Bournemouth in the summer of 2020. The 43-year-old English tactician impressed the club's owners during his interview, and more than a year after staying away from the game, the former defender is all set to do what he does best. Howe's arrival signals the start of something new at Newcastle, and the Englishman is going to offer something different at the club, having spent a lot of time with leading coaching figures in Europe, picking up new ideas just to be ready when the time comes. He will be inheriting a team that's yet to win a game this season and is 5 points adrift from safety. Howe is likely to move for a midfielder, a centre-back and a full-back in January, and wants to set up the team in such a manner where attack is the best form of defence. Newcastle have 9 games in the season left before they can call upon reinforcements in January, so Howe's managerial acumen is going to be tested to its limits. However, the fact that he's already worked with current players such as Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser and Matt Ritchie means that Howe will not find it supremely difficult to get his message across. Let's hope that Newcastle turn a corner with Howe at the helm. Just a couple of weeks after suffering a humiliating loss at home to Liverpool, Manchester United lost 2-0 to City at home in a game that they really should have lost by a bigger margin. The latest defeat was the team's third in the last 4 days, and it's now started to annoy Cristiano Ronaldo, who's reportedly worried and shocked at how much the levels have dropped at United since his return. While Ronaldo was well aware that things have changed since Sir Alex Ferguson had left, he's shocked to see that the team is so far beneath the mud. The Portuguese forward has been frustrated in recent weeks, and it appears he's not the only one. It's claimed that several members of the squad are not happy with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's favouritism towards certain players. Harry Maguire, for instance, is in awful form to say the least, but he's almost always guaranteed a starting role. Similarly, the likes of Donny van de Beek and Jesse Lingard are being treated unfairly and never given enough chances, while Fred and Scott McTominay keep getting their starts despite being limited at best. And maybe this will be one of the many reasons why Solskjaer will eventually get the sack. Is this the start of a glorious era? This is in any case what the supporters of FC Barcelona had hoped, who see in Xavi Hernandez a potential Pep Guardiola. A staunch advocate of the positional game and an astute tactician, the Manchester City coach helped Barcelona to its most successful era in recent history. During that time, the former Barcelona number 6 was taking his first steps as a player set to retire and looking to enter the world of football management. During a presentation open to the public that welcomed the Catalan with open arms, he was able to say his first words in front of local journalists. The native of Terrassa notably unveiled what he's preparing to put the club back to where it should be. I have a very clear idea with the requirements and rules to work hard and to convince players to get the right results. We will be judged on the basis of results, but we will try to play well. My goal is to help the players. There are those who are under pressure. I can see it from the outside. We will help them on a personal and professional level. We have to be more professional than ever. We have to improve that. We will work very hard. It's a medium and long-term project, said Xavi. Xavi says that he wants his team to play intense, aggressive football where players are eager to win back possession. Players are going to be given a lot of power to decide their roles in each game. Xavi is back at the club after 6 years, and after showing his coaching acumen at Al Sadd, the Spaniard is definitely going to help Barca towards a better future. The legendary former midfielder is eager to see Barcelona return to playing the same way it did when he shared the pitch with the likes of Andres Iniesta, Lionel Messi and others. Can he do that? We sure hope so.